Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video, and I want to talk about my experience as a first generation American, or what some people will call a second generation American. So, I was born and raised in the US, but I come from immigrant parents. My dad was born and raised in Nigeria, and my mom was born and raised in Malawi, which is a small southern African country. So, ethnicity wise, I am Nigerian on my dad's side and Malawian on my mom's side of the family, or you can say that I am half Nigerian and half Malawian. And throughout my life, I wasn't really seen as someone that is Nigerian enough for most Nigerians that were born and raised in Nigeria. And I wasn't seen as someone that is Malawian enough for most Malawians that were born and raised in Malawi. And here in the US, I'm not seen as American enough by most Americans because both my parents are immigrants. So I was always in the middle between the three cultures. And sometimes it could be hard to fully fit into each of the three cultures. And I know that a lot of first and second generation Americans can understand, because a lot of first and second generation Americans have a hard time fitting into the cultures that they associate with, right? And sometimes a lot of us can have an identity struggle or an identity crisis, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is, right? And another hardship that a lot of us first and second generation Americans go through is the pressure that we get, because we get a lot of pressure from our parents to do well in America, and we are pressured to live up to the American dream. And we're also given higher expectations just because we were born and raised in the US. And this is because a lot of us come from hardworking immigrant parents, and our parents made a lot of sacrifices to come here. And they also made a lot of sacrifices to have a great life in the US. And they worked really hard to become good providers for their kids, right? So that is one thing. And then another hardship that we also go through is the fact that we are pressured to assimilate into our birth country's culture. And while doing that, we also have to maintain our family's culture. So we have to maintain more than one culture at the same time while living in America. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it could be difficult to relate to most Americans because most Americans come from multi-generational families that have been in the US for more than three generations. And it could also be hard to relate to our parents. And it could also be difficult to relate to our extended family members that were born and raised in our parents' countries, because they weren't born and raised in the US and we weren't born and raised in our parents' countries. So there might be some cultural misunderstandings. And I think another disadvantage that we have as first and second generation Americans is the fact that we are forced to pick a side. You know, sometimes a lot of us are pressured to embrace one culture over the other. But honestly, there's nothing wrong with embracing more than one culture. And it's okay to embrace many different cultures at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And even though there are disadvantages, there are advantages. Due to the fact that a lot of first and second generation Americans grow up in more than one culture at the same time, we have a more diversified mindset, and we have a more open-minded mindset because we look at things differently, and we grew up in different cultures. So we have different views of things. And we can also go back and forth between different cultures. And we also have family members that live in foreign countries too. And that's pretty cool. And also, we can enjoy different types of food at the same time, right? And that's also pretty cool. And I would say another advantage that first and second generation Americans have is the fact that we come from hardworking parents. We understand hard work, and we're not afraid of working hard, right? And we're not afraid of not fitting in, you know? And not fitting in is a great thing. You know, you don't have to fit in, and it's okay to be part of more than one culture. You know what I'm saying? So if you are a first generation American or a second generation American or even a third generation American, just know that I understand your struggle, and just know that it's okay if you don't fit in at all, because standing out is a blessing, because that's what makes you unique. So if you're watching this video, just know that you are unique in your own way, and always embrace all of your cultures that create your identity, because those cultures are very important in your life. All right? Don't listen to the haters and don't listen to what people say. Just continue to be yourself and love yourself. All right? So I hope you all have a great day and God bless.